everyone, welcome back to Live Drawing. I am Raul and this is the second lesson where we're learning about the techniques of shade. Today we're learning how to shade a globe and how to draw a realistic globe. Stay with me till the end and you will see how many things you can learn if you draw objects. Before to start, as you can see, I have very light outlining a globe already. So I like to talk about how to draw a globe exactly. You can draw together with me if you're with me live and if you want to learn this. And we're talking about the highlights, direct highlights, halftone, reflected lights, shadow and core shadow, which are very important for realistic drawing. Let's going on a first pencil, which is 2H, and I will shade all this globe slowly. If you have any question, guys, don't hesitate and ask me anything you like to find out. If you like, guys, you can work with me together. Just take a paper and everything you heard from me you prepare near to you, so you can work in the same time with me. In this way you can learn faster. When I want to learn something, I do to see if I can do, and of course if you do something, never forget. I'm going very light all sides of the globe. This is the first step you need to do when you draw a globe. Today we're learning also the gradients, using more grades of the pencils. As you can see, slowly we start to coloring the paper with this grade. It's 2H for Faber Castell 9000. I will use a soft tissue for this part of the shade, so I can go a little bit faster. And if you remember, guys, to keep the pencil sharp for longer, my way is to rotate the pencil during the process. I sharp a little bit the pencil by paper. And slowly we're going close to how to draw eyes, nose, ears and everything you need to know. But before, you need to know how to use and which way to shade for the dark tone, for light, and to learn about a little bit about the pencils. My globe is the first layer made. If I'm coming with soft tissue, you will see how smooth we can shade this. Right, I'm coming with soft tissue now because I finished 2H, which is the first direct light. I think you know already about my way to shade with tissue. I have a soft tissue, I cover my finger, and the rest of the tissue I put inside of my palm. So I can have this part of the finger to work, or you can use, as I told you, soft brush. By circles I'm going very light, pushing this light grade into the paper. Of course I need to make sure I'm not going outside, but if you go a little bit it's no problem. We have eraser to fix to make the globe perfect. And I will call this direct light. And I'm coming with an arrow so you can see what we're talking about. And we stop here. And I put direct light. HB grade we're using for the half tone. Half tone is a bit darker than this, so we need to blend again everything here, but we don't move the pencil into this area because we need to let the highlights starting from here. So the dark shadow will be like this on the globe, and slowly we're working in gradients to work to let this part for the lighter area with highlights. Hopefully, guys, you sharp already your pencils if you work together with me. Bend the pencil for shade and for better control of the pencil. Now I'm adding the half tone on the globe. I'm going just to smooth the paper, and if I do this on a second layer, as you can see, the grade become a little bit darker, and you can make the difference between the first and the second layer. And if I'm going light on the top, you will see we mix very nice the grades together, which is 2H with HB grade. Look at that, from here is darker and here become lighter. Now when we shade, we need to go from dark to light always. I'm coming with HB grade, carry on with this, and it's darker, so half tone is like this, and I don't have yet. And remember, guys, even if I'm adding layers by layers, I smooth soft my paper with soft tissue, and you see what's happened. We build slowly the necessary gradients that we're looking for to transform this realistic globe. My position of the pencil is very strange, it's like this, so it's very bent on my paper, as you can see, and I'm working only with the top of the pencil. Very light. When you shade an object, it's not necessary to press with the pencil, even when you shade skin. Remember, always go light, and you will see how beautiful results you can achieve. From dark to light, I'm checking for the globe for the reference photo, and I see where the dark is, and mixed together with the first layers made, I build these beautiful gradients. As you can see now, very light, I'm pushing to the reflected light areas just a little bit to make this gradient bottom side of the globe. It will be reflected light, but I will show you how to add cast shadow the dark shadow here, looking like a globe on the ground. Depend of the paper, guys. If you see it doesn't work dark as you're looking for, just change the grade, it's not a problem. You can make a palette bigger and add more grades here. It's not necessary to respect my grades of the pencil here. You can add 5, 6, 7B, it's not a problem. Just think about it, you need to add the close grades to the reference photo. Not necessarily my grades that I put here. This is only a lesson, so I can show you guys. So this, if it doesn't work with one grade, won't be a problem. We can change the grade in darker grade. I do my best to make myself understood, so you can understand everything we draw here. And don't worry, I'll explain every supplier we're using in these lessons. I'm going with soft tissue again over, so I can blend and shade this. So apparently we don't need any more HB grade, just in case for correction. And we smooth from dark to light, mix together these grades of the pencil, building a gradient. So if you see on the bottom of the globe, I have reflected light. Here I have highlights and again reflected light on the top. So I push the graphite from the dark to light. In this way I can build this gradient. Look at that. Actually, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to lose the grade of the pencil into the highlights area. Where the shadow is here, I'm going over the shadow, building the quarter part of the shadow on the globe. I have here direct light, so the next one is half tone. Half tone is the second part as I did over, which is the second layer. This will be half tone. So we don't need any more now HB grade. We're going on reflected light, which is 2B. And from now we need to cover this shadow to make darker. And I will show you how dark we need to go to make realistic globe looking. So we're coming from the bottom, adding this over the grade. But remember, we carry on to blend in the same way so we can do the gradients. We don't want to lose the gradients, which are very important for us. As you can see, I'm not going everywhere here because I'm going only half part of the third layer, which allowed me to achieve the perfect gradient on the globe. Starting from the dark tone, same job, I'm pushing the graphite into the lighter area, building this beautiful gradient. Also, I want you guys to learn my way to shade and blend. Is very easy for you to learn this way of the blend. Just keep the soft tissue on your finger and move the finger around where you need to add dark tone. I need to go with this line sharper as I can so I can push and lose my graphite into this direct light of the globe. Now as you can see, I'm going dark, same as the outline of the globe, and this helped me to make this bottom shadow on the globe. Now we're working for a reflected light because we did direct light, which is the higher part, and half tone, which is the first layer, 2H if you remember. So if I have dark tone here, I need to make sure I don't push too much on the top, which is very important to don't mix together. So I'm going by small circles. I mix first on the dark tone area the grade, and I try to build same color of the grade inside of the globe with the outline made before, if you remember. And now slowly we're pushing a little bit graphite. Mix together slowly we build this beautiful globe. But make sure when you go into the highlights, go very light and try to make like this, not by circles. Circles you do when you do the dark tone. I'm going on a second layer, which be 4B grade, and we're talking about the shadows. Now the real shadow coming. I need to do the outline same as I did with 2B grade. Where the outline is, I need the same grade with the pencil. As you can see, when I'm going with the outlining through the highlights, I leave the pencil very light so I can build a very soft thin line. What happens if I do the same harder line on this part? I will break my drawing, yeah? We don't looking to do that, guys. We're learning to work realistic. Let's shade again, but this time same job like this, but the line should be thin than before. So we're going like circles. Remember, when you start to shade the dark tone, which is very helpful for shadows, try to shade in more small circles than before you did. So if you've seen before I shade like that, now I'm looking to shade small circles so I can be happy with the color of the pencil. We have direct light, half tone, and reflected light. The reflected light I will put here so you can understand what is the reflected light. and I write it down, reflected light. So what the reflected light doing for our globe, guys, is reflecting the ground. So on the ground we will have shadow here, a little bit reflected light you will see on the bottom of this, and here should be the cast shadow. And we're going now to build this line, the quarter side of the globe, half of the part of the graphite. I did also a beautiful picture with a lady in tights on the Harley Davidson moto, and I had like a reflected shiny parts on the ground is under the moto and also under the high heel of the lady. So it's very important. If you like to see that video, you can have a look on my YouTube channel and you will see how I added the shadows. As you can see with this 4B grade, I'm going now to looking for shadows, which is very important for our globe. If you have a look from the distance, you will see like a moon. If I'm adding some shadows and dark shadows on this one, it will looking like a moon, as I designed one tattoo. If you remember, you can have a look on my YouTube channel also for that one if you like. I designed a tattoo from a wolf, roses, skull and the moon for a customer, and that customer was very impressed and happy, and he made a tattoo on his back. As you can see, guys, this shadow help us now to clarify everything here. As you can see, this 4B grade is very helpful to add necessary shadow. Big thank for beautiful comments, guys. Also for likes. Soft tissue to blend and mix together to build the realistic gradient. Of course, I'm starting from dark tone, from the outline, and I'm going by small circles. We're not talking only about the globes, we draw objects, and after we know how to work, we're starting to draw eyes, nose and everything we need for the portrait, for the human portrait. Also I can teach you to draw animals if you like. And now we're going on core shadows. But how you build the core shadows? Adding dark only the middle part. Starting with 6B, we shade very light, only the middle one. And you will see when we mix together with the different parts of the grades, this helps us to make the difference between the ground and the shadow on the globe. From now making this dark tone, we need to start to shade by small circles, and soft tissue will make everything for us. And also big thank you for your comments on my TikTok page. Now with this soft tissue, make sure you don't push more than that, only when you build a gradient. I'm going first of all on the line, which is the arch on our globe. Now I'm looking to mix together to build the globe looking realistic. As I did on the first part, I just pushed the dark tone inside on half tone and highlights. Of course, I can add a little bit dark tone on this because we have eraser and will be more interesting when I adding the highlights with eraser, and I will show you how. Try to learn my techniques to draw and you will see how satisfied you will be when you start to draw a portrait. Try to learn the pencils, guys, which are the very important things. I love to work with more pencils. Even when I do color red portrait, as you see in my Captain America portrait, I used to work at least 10 color red pencils only for small part of the costume. We're adding the core shadow, which is the last one for today. And we draw the shadow on the ground. How to draw this? By shade, smooth shade. We're checking for the part for the shadow. Of course, I'm going close with the globe and I'm coming out a little bit so I can make this looking like a 3D, like a globe fell on the ground. Because I did a little bit shade on this part, I can come in now with dark tone with 8B to build the part for the core shadow, which is this. So the core shadow should be this. Remember, for core shadow, which I call dark shadow in my portraits, I'm using only 8B grade. It's not reason to use any other grade because it will be only a waste of your time. We're working on the same way when we learn to shade objects, and by the way, when we learn to shade 3 objects together, you will see how nice you can add shadow from the cube or the globe, whatever you draw. And now, as you can see, I did this outline. I need to come in with my graphite, touching this outline. So make the perfect shadow. Now I will shade this part very light with soft tissue, and I want to see if I need to go darker or not. Everything you see, the reflection on the ground from your object, should be lighter and darker. Always we have 2 shadows, even from our body. Now guys, very carefully, I need to make sure don't push too much graphite inside on the highlight, on the reflected light area. I'm going first of all in the middle of the graphite, of the grade, so I can mix and blend together, making only one color. If I'm happy with this, I push a little bit graphite outside, very light, so I can make the second part for the shadow, which is the lighter shadow. Now we're still working on a core shadow, and I'm coming with 8B grade. Again, I build a line, now darker. And slowly I'm losing the pencil here to make sharper, so I can go with the line into the highlights. Small circle so I can draw the core shadow, which help us to divide the ground from the ball or the globe. As you can see, my shadow is close to this, and now because I'm working on the small parts, I'm coming again with cotton buds, soft brush or blending stump. You can use blending stump because it's sharper. It will help for this part for the shadow. I'm coming with soft brush, shade very light this line. Help me to don't go with the graphite inside. And slowly I push the graphite outside, which is the outside area on this. By small circles, guys, with this type of shade. And when I'm happy outside, I'm coming with cotton buds, because I'm using only for small parts that one, so make the perfect work. Take from dark tone, pushing this into the lighter area. Always my way to blend is this. I will never change, because I make sure always to going on the right way. I will put this core shadow as well, because the line here, the darker line is core shadow. So here we have core shadow, and the big one we have cast shadow. Now we have the perfect globe, yes? How many things we can still learn from the realistic drawing. Believe or not, I'm still learning by myself drawing the portraits. Now I started to work harder on the colored pencils to going close with the references photo, and I'm so happy, and I still achieve and find more ways to work with. If you need to go darker, you can come in with pencil only where you need, but as you can see, I'm going only half of the way, because always the cast shadow is smaller than the full shadow. Try to do this experiment, you see if it's true or not. All objects, if you put on the ground, it will have two shadows if you have a look better. Right, the most important part is highlights. How to add highlights? We can work with Tombow Mono Zero eraser pencils, or I'm using this because I started already. If you remember, I shade this part. So now we're coming to make this beautiful part for highlights. We're working with sharper part of the pencil. We can do this special way we draw eyes. We need to draw the windows reflection into the eyes, so I'm using this way of highlighting as well. Look at that, how nice become our globe. If you're interested for my erasers, go on Amazon, the link in the YouTube description, guys. You will find a lot of suppliers and a lot of erasers, even electric eraser. Very nice. I'm using soft brush as before, and I'm adding light tone on this part. Just mix together from this part of the shadow. So if I did that, I need to come back with cotton buds to mix together the gradient, push this graphite which is extra. And this I call highlights, which I use lots of my portraits. Kiss you guys and take care. Bye bye.